This is going to be a real quick overview on usage of the Easy WordPress SEO plugin for WordPress. I'm not going to cover the installation, the settings, just the actual usage. If you're just doing interviews and things like that, a normal blog post on your blog, this may not be something you have to worry about. But if you're actually worried about landing pages, if you're worried about talking specific topics on your site in an attempt to bring people to your site through search engines, this is an absolute must-use. And I've got a fairly decent idea about SEO, but this will just catch a lot of little mistakes, a lot of little things. Oh yeah, I should really do that instead of that. Okay, so we're going to show the usage. This is a article on the site that I did a few weeks ago, October 12th, and it was the second part of a three-part series on Twitter. And I had a really good results on this article. A lot of people loved him, this and that. And this is the second part, and it's free Twitter tools to help speed up the process. So now we're actually going to look. Here's the article right here. So I wasn't using this Easy WordPress SEO plugin when I first did this, so this will be a good one to kind of go through and maybe clean up a little and just to at least demonstrate it. So this plugin, you can see it over here, Easy WordPress SEO, and this is your SEO score and your keyword density. And the keyword it's going to use, you set it here, it's the primary keyword. We're not going to worry about secondary keywords, any of that. And so this is just what keyword do you want this page to be about. And so for this one right here, we'll use free Twitter tools. As good as any. And there's a lot of keyword research. I've talked about that to actually pick one, but for demonstration purposes, this will be fine. So we'll paste that in there. Then we'll click update. Normally, it's just when you're actually doing the normal post, it's just to kind of save the post, not actually publish it yet. And the Easy WordPress SEO will update your score. So you can see now that I've picked a keyword, it's graded my post, and it's 43.48%. One quick thing to look about before I get in there, one thing that I like about this plugin that I didn't like about a lot of the others, some of the other plugins that try to do that, just grade the post as the post itself. They don't look at the page as a whole. This one will actually look at the entire page that the post is on and try to give your, adjust some of your grades accordingly for keyword density and things like that. So, excuse me. So this one right here, 43.48%, you can see. Let's go through and see what so far it's saying I'm doing right, what so far I'm saying I'm not doing so hot. So the title, when it's meaning the title, isn't the title of the post up here, it's the actual title of the page down here. And so I get a green check mark because I'm using free Twitter tools in my title, okay. A little red X that doesn't like, my title doesn't begin with a keyword. I wouldn't worry about that. I don't worry about that one too much. If it does, great. If not, I don't adjust it. Title contains at least 3 words. I've got and a red X mark, the title contains up to 66 characters. This is the one thing that confused me when I first started using this and actually emailed the creator and say, hey, what gives? My title's only got 56 characters and it's saying I have over 66 and giving me a warning. And what he told me I never thought about, just an idea of how good and thorough this tool is that is the title of the page. But then if you look by WordPress settings, you see after the title, the tab, it's also got Guerrilla Wordfare Romance eBooks, just the generic title that, my site appends onto all the ends. So it is above 66 characters. I don't worry about it. I don't adjust it. That's fine. I'll just take the little bit of a lower score. These are just recommendations, not some hard, fast thing. But, it does catch. It is really good with that. So then the next little tab on the criteria it's grading on is URL. There's only one criteria. Is your keyword in the URL? It absolutely is. Free Twitter tools. Okay. The next area it grades me on is the metadata. You can enter that down here in your all-in-one SEO. And the first thing is I've got a red X in my description meta tag contains keyword. So here it is, free Twitter tools. If that's what I'm actually trying to optimize for, which I wasn't trying to optimize for anything when I wrote it, that's why. I should really use that in the description. So let's find a way to work my free Twitter tools in here. A review of 2, let's make that free Twitter. Okay. So now you can see right now my SEO score is 43.48. When I click update, it refreshes. I'm now up to 47.83. We come over here to the metadata. Great, I've got a green check mark there. Just one example of a little thing that, you can write a really good post and then go through, oh yeah, that, oh yeah, that. Okay, a green check mark for the meta contains up to 160 characters. Okay, I didn't have too many. A red X, the meta tag begins with the keyword. Once again, I don't worry about that as long as it's in there, okay. These aren't hard, fast rules. I haven't got 100% on anything yet. I don't try to. And then keywords, meta tag contains keyword. Okay, I've got that down here in the, there we go, free Twitter tools, okay. So the next one we're going to go to is heading. Okay, this is one, and this is another good example of how it does it. By default, it's almost always, as long as your keyword excuse me, is in the post title, your H1 tags are going to be checked, because on the page that displays is an H1. Some of the other tools out there would say that I didn't have an H1 in there because I didn't have one of the actual post body, when I did have an H1 on that page, because it's this title right here, and that's an H1. So I've got the heading, and then I didn't use an H2 heading in there. That's fine, because I did use an H3. I don't try to use both an H2 and an H3. If you do, that's great, that's fine. But I do have an H3 on there, so that's fine, because if you go down here, somewhere in there I'm using a H3 on that specific keyword. So, and the last thing is the content. That's a lot of red X's on this one. And the one thing to notice too is, okay, well, we'll go in order. The first green check marks, my content contains at least 300 words. I've actually got 305, so I'm just barely over that one. Normally I like my post to be at least 500, but on this one it was a little low. Okay. And the next one, I have a red X because my content has, doesn't have 2.0 to 5.5% keyword density. And you can look, I've actually got a keyword density of 0. Like I said, when I wrote this, I wasn't trying to target for any specific keyword phrase. And that's good, because I want it to be about free Twitter tools here, I'm telling it. And I never one time used that. And so I'm not going to try to go here after the fact and inject them. But if you were really trying to go for a term, obviously, you want to get this as close to as possible. If my keyword density, sometimes I've getting articles and they're only, a little less than even 1%, that's fine. But at least I've used it a couple times, whereas this is pointing out I haven't. And one thing this has saved me at before is that, you put in there, say you put in free Twitter tool, because you're talking about a specific tool, and then you go and your keyword density is still low, and you're like, why? And then you realize you're using the wrong plural. You're using plural instead of a not, this and that, or some different variation, and it's just, okay, it lets you clean it up and get them all to the same turd to bump that keyword density. And that's just an example. That's one thing that it always catches me on, oh yeah, no, because that is a difference. On Google, there is a difference between a free Twitter tool and free Twitter tools. So you need to pick the one you're going for and be consistent in order to rank high. Okay. Another red X for the content contains keyword in the first 50 to 100 words. It doesn't have it. So let's fix that here real quick. I think followed, you can do it in 5-minute chunks. Let's add in, so let's find a good spot to inject that in. Too popular, here we go. Tools to free Twitter tools. So now 47.83 when we update. Put that up to, there we go, 52.17. And you can see that that's actually gone from a red X to the green check. So once we get above 70, which I don't know if we'll do with this because we're not, doing a series, this will actually go from red to green. And so, it's a really good thing. Like I said, these aren't hard, fast rules. Don't try to go for 100%. Don't try to get any minimum score, but just really good things to keep an eye out for. I've got a red X because I don't have an image with at least one alt attribute. That's an easy one to do. I've started putting images in all my posts now since I started using it to get this one a green check and do that. I should have been doing that before. This called me on it. It gave me a red X because I don't have at least one bolded keyword in there. I just used it once anyway. Give me a green check mark because I have at least one italicized in there. That's good. At least one underlined. I don't do underlined because underlines look like links, so I think it's confusing. So that one I'm always had red. I never used it once. Content contains at least one keyword and anchor text of one external link and then one internal. So that's an easy one to put a link or two in there and this and that. Okay. And to boost the score. And then content contains a keyword in the last 50 to 100 words. So that's one thing Google looks for, is not that you just have, certain keyword density, but that it's spread out through articles. That you don't just use them one clump at the beginning or the middle or the end just to get it out of the way. They just kind of have it spread throughout there. So this is good because it asks for it in the first 50 to 100 words and asks for it in the last 50 to 100 words. So there's a lot of different features of this tool, but I just wanted to show you just real quick, go through a post, and you can see when you start to, this is good too, because now when I start to write a post, I'll put in the keyword in mind up here, and then you go out throughout, you just kind of use it appropriately, this and that, and then at the end you go see what red X's you have, and you either go with it because it just helps the post be more natural and flow, or you're like, yeah, I didn't italicize anything, let me go back through and italicize one of them, or yeah, let me insert a picture that uses that keyword in the alt text. So this really is a godsend for any type of landing page or anything like that. So I'll do a few more videos on more of the options in here, because there are some really cool other options and the setup. But I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.